Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about phishing. My name is Vishal, roll number 237. So phishing attacks are the practice of sending fraudulent communications that appear to come from a reputable source. It is usually done through email, but also sometimes through other methods, which we will see later. So the goal is to steal sensitive data like credit card or login information, or sometimes to install malware on the victim's machine. So phishing is a very common type of cyber attack that everyone should learn about in order to protect themselves. So sometimes attackers are satisfied with getting a victim's credit card information or other personal data, and they just do it for financial gain. But other times, phishing emails are sent to obtain like more information, like employee login details, etc., to carry out more advanced attacks against any organization or company.
Hello, I'm Sanjana, roll number 250. I'll brief on various types of intruders and phishing attack strategies. We have three types of intruders, namely masqueraders, misfeasors, and clandestine users. A masquerader is an unauthorized person, mostly an outsider, trying to penetrate and exploit a legitimate user's account. A misfeasor is a person with a considerable level of authorization, trying to access information outside his authority, that is, misusing his privilege. And a clandestine user may be an insider or an outsider trying to seize supervisory control over a system of an organization. Now, phishing attacks are mostly performed by masqueraders and clandestine users. They may use different attack strategies like deceptive phishing, where a masquerader tries to impersonate himself as a legitimate company or an authorized individual, using techniques like blending malicious code, misusing legitimate links, and shortened URLs. Another type is wishing, which is a combination of voice and phishing, implemented using voice over IP to steal confidential information from the victim. It's implemented also using ID spoofing. And a slight variation to this type is smishing, that is phishing via SMS.
Hello, I'm Vishal, roll number 213, and I'll be explaining how a possible or potential phishing attack might happen. And for this, I'd like to take the example of spear phishing, which is a very popularly used technique. Spear phishing basically targets a specific person or enterprise as opposed to random application users. And it is basically a more in-depth version of phishing technique that requires special knowledge about organization. A hypothetical spear phishing attack might play out as follows. Say the perpetrator researches the names of the employees within an organization's marketing department and gains access to the latest project invoices. Posing as the marketing director, the attacker may email the departmental project manager using a subject line that reads updated invoice for Q3 campaigns. And the perpetrator will basically try to mimic the entire organization's standard email template, like the text style and the logo of the company. And this email, which in actuality is basically a spoofed version of a stolen invoice and is basically a password protected document, the project manager who fails to recognize this discrepancy will in turn enter his organization's password, which will then be sent back to the perpetrator and gain basically giving the attacker the full credentials to the organization's network. And in this way, a potential phishing attack might play out. And yeah, that is how it goes.
Hi there, I'm Sharan Babu. My roll number is 207, and I'll be talking about how to protect against phishing attacks. To begin with, avoid clicking on links directed to files for download or open attachments in mails, even if it's from a trusted source or individual. Make it a habit to open a new browser window and type the URL in the address bar instead. Installing an anti-phishing extension that identifies threats and acts as an alert system in preventing phishing attacks. Rotate passwords regularly. Limiting the lifespan of a password reduces vulnerability to password-based attacks and exploits. Software updates generally contain new or better features that make the program more useful and better at serving its purpose. By updating your software, you can make sure that your system and the information it contains are protected as possible as it can be from these threats. Thank you.
Hello guys, this is Srijay. So now that we have a basic idea about what phishing is, so let's just dive into a simple demonstration. So for this, I'm running Kali Linux on Windows Subsystem for Linux. And before we begin, I should point out that this is for educational purposes only and please do not try this on anyone for any reason at all. So for this purpose, we're using a tool called HiddenEye. It's an advanced phishing tool which also has support for Android devices. So let's begin. So if you want to try this out for yourself, make sure to check out the HiddenEye GitHub repository. So first step is just to run the hiddeneye.py file. So this takes us to a new page which shows about 40 different sites which you can use to phish users. So let's just head over to Instagram because it's really popular as of now. So what we want is a simple web page to perform phishing. So let's just do that. So yeah, as I told, it's really advanced and it has stuff like auto liker and then also other scenarios for which is particularly curated for Instagram. And if we choose other websites, there will be other options like these. So let's just choose the first option. And yeah, it also has stuff like keyloggers and capture the data emailed and etc. But we're not going to implement all this. So let's just head over to the next one. So this is the redirect link. So let's just give instagram.com. And now this is prompted to give a port number. So let's just do that. And because I'm going to run this site on my own device, I'm just going to give the localhost option. But in an actual scenario, we would use something like nrock or servio so that we can send it to our victims. So let's just head over, and now I'm just going to open this link. So this is the Instagram web page, but this is the phished web page that is created by a hacker. So if I'm a user, I would go ahead and give my username, email and some password. So the password I've given is hello123 here. So if I log in, don't save. So it just redirects me to instagram.com. So typically what a user would think is that there's something wrong with the server, or it's just redirected him again and he would proceed to go ahead. But as you can see, what email ID and password I have provided is captured here. That is shrij@gmail.com, and as I have already specified earlier, I've given the password hello123. So this is how easy it is to hack people, and I want to point it again, please don't try this on anyone. It's just for educational purposes. So yeah, thank you.